Transformations and congruence. Congruent shapes are identical. They are the same size and the same shape, whereas similar shapes are identical in shape only. So they are the same shape, but they are different in size. So if we look at the diagram below, shapes A and B are congruent. They're the same shape and the same size. Whereas shape C is the same shape, but it's different in size, and therefore it's similar to A, and it's also similar to B. We should be familiar with the transformations: reflection, rotation, translation, and enlargement. Reflections, rotations, and translations — remember, translation is where we just move a shape from one position to another. In the primary school we used to call that slide. These three produce congruent shapes. So that's the top three here produce congruent shapes. Enlargements change the size of shapes. They either make them bigger or smaller, but they retain the actual shape. So therefore the shapes produced are similar. We're asked, are these two triangles similar, congruent, or neither? If we look at the base of the triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so this length is equal to this length. And just looking at the height and counting squares tells me that these are the same shape and the same size. So that would make them congruent. Is the transformation a rotation, a reflection, a translation, or an enlargement? Well, it looks like a reflection. A reflects to A dashed, B to B dashed, and C to C dashed. And it looks to me like the mirror line is the y-axis. So I'm going to say that that's a reflection. Are the two triangles similar, congruent, or neither? Well, BC, B dash C dashed, B dash C dashed would be the transformation of BC. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So they are the same size, or at least these two lengths are the same. So I'm going to say that these are congruent. Just counting squares, they look exactly the same. Is it a rotation, a reflection, a translation, or an enlargement? Well, A's gone to A dashed, B to B dashed, C to C dashed, and that looks like I've just slid the shape from here to here. And sliding is a translation. We just simply move it. Are the two shapes similar, congruent, or neither? If we look at BC, the transformation of that is B dash C dashed, and both of these are 4 units long. If we count some other squares as well, we'll see that they are exactly the same size as well as the same shape. So they're congruent. Which transformation do we have? Well, it's definitely not a translation because the triangles are pointing in different directions and they're the same size, so it's not an enlargement. So it's one of these two, and it just looks to me like it's a rotation. The center would be here, and it just looks like we've rotated like so. So we've gone like this. So I'm going to say that this one is a rotation.